Hello, I'm live, and as I promised, I looked at the financial for the Starlink, Star Mobile piece. So let me look at that first for you guys. Where is it? I see it here on my screen. I want to share it. Complete dashboard. I didn't have it. Oh, okay, so this is a little bit different because. Okay, just let me screen this one. Share. Oh, we are seeing it here. Okay, here you see the supplementary. I cannot scroll, I think. Let me try to scroll to the first piece. So this is an appendix for the book, and I recalculated with things. You can see here the Falcon 9, the cadence of the launches, like 100 to 60 launch satellites at CANS 24. Deployment cost, you see here, the other cost. You see here the graph. You see that it is getting more and more and cheaper. The cumulative satellites, you see that there are every time 3,000 satellites a year, and that the capex gets less and less, so it gets more efficient. The economics is also interesting. There is more and more. Here you see the growth, the amount of mobile and the revenue. It was said to by Shotwell that they could maybe get 1/6 of the mobile market. The mobile market is 600 billion, probably 100 billion that they can get. Let's look at the piece, some other numbers, the size, tapering, everything. Let me look at the last. It was 33 phones per dish, probably. Let me look. I think the interesting number is the profit, of course, not the size. Here, this is maybe the most interesting piece, the stuff above it a little. So this is, I think, the most interesting. I hope you can see it. Let's remove this. Okay, and let's go to what you guys are seeing. So, you see that you cannot see the mobile share of revenue. Okay, let me help with that. How can we do that? We can go a little bit lower. So the profit per margin is always 60%. So that is easy. So let me look at it first. Can we see now everything? Yes, we can see it. So you can see that the income of broadband stays the same. It doubles in 5 years. You see here the mobile revenue goes from nothing to maybe is it around 100 times, maybe more than 100 times more. That is logical because you have to enter the market. You see that after 2030 there is a jump. It has to do with the number of satellites, the number of deployed antennas and the infrastructure they are building, the combined revenue, and you see the share. So it grows to 100,000. So the appropriation is that in 5 years they only have half the possible market they can capture. So if everything goes better, they can get, of course, more. And I also think this is only thought about with, I call it America. You can maybe, or maybe not, but I think this number 41 can be maybe bigger, 4 times bigger, if depending on what they are the mobile is using. You can imagine that they go for not only the normal accounts, but for other accounts, business accounts, or whatever. Also, the margin, the profitable margin is very low. The dishes and the antennas are sold with not with profit. So that is normal. So they make a loss. The antenna is the most expensive one. They make the biggest loss on the antenna, but the modules and whatever the modules that are in the antenna, those are also a little bit sold with a loss. So the antenna, the box you buy, you get is always with a loss, and they will make it up with the subscription. So this is some numbers you can see. This is just how you call it. Estimations, but you can see that this is $100 billion business, and if it goes worldwide and if we add a lot of other things, it could grow more and more. This is an estimation of the basic plan, so the lowest to the lowest, I think. So this is that everything just goes as it is, and there are no like they don't going to build out more cellular towers, or they don't do a contract with other, or maybe they buy some Vodafone or some other companies and they add this to their business. Maybe that's a good idea. In Japan, you buy a cell operator. In America, in Europe, and you use that also. They think they are still profitable and could do that and then explode with fight the other cell operators and try to get a monopoly. This is also maybe not needed. But yeah, the base is that they can grow it out the whole Starlink in 100 billion per year profit business. Now then you have of course the AI stuff. What they have the chips, but this is all feeding into themselves. So probably they can lower the cost of the dishes and antennas. They can populate whole Africa. They can populate pieces where there's no mobile or where mobile is a problem. And for example, on islands in the Pacific or with ships or whatever. So you can imagine that this is a big business, a big TAM. You can also imagine that you can make a combination. For example, you take a subscription and you get like a dish, you get a phone, your phone connection to it, or they maybe make their own phone. Because if you can make a crazy amount of electronics and stuff, why don't build also a simple phone? But they have to look if there is a profit margin there. So depending on what is possible, they have to look what is a market they can address. Maybe the phone is not that interesting, but maybe it is. So that will also be a research point maybe later that I can dive into. If a phone, building your own phone, what is the advantages, and if there is really, has it an advantage? Of course, if you have the whole package from the internet in space to internet on ground and also mobile in space direct or on ground, you can combine all the costs, also the clock cost. You can combine the AI cost. Maybe if you have a charge of solar panels on that, you can have maybe a lease for it all. You're doing financing with X money from your solar panel on roof with your Tesla and your Powerwall, and you get automatic the subscriptions for in your car for there's something like Wi-Fi in it, but there can also be then a mobile module in it, so you have also your mobile connection. You can have with a mobile around your house. You have your own mobile antenna. So if he can combine it all, it becomes all cheaper, and you automatically can charge a little more in subscriptions, and the business becomes much bigger. And also, you can, if you have you capture a customer, they will keep that. They will stay in your market. They will stay buying Tesla stuff like Apple. If you hook to an Apple product, you stay with Apple. If you, for example, you have a car, a Tesla, you build a power wall for it for charging, then okay, you start to buy a solar panel, maybe if you're not, but then you have also the subscriptions. And even so, you will keep on building on what you have, because if you, for example, have a car and you want to buy a new car, Tesla will give a premium price for your old car, and you get a newer car, and maybe the financing with X money will also be cheaper than normal, and your insurance will be cheaper. So they will hook the customers like Apple and other things, and that they can do it with subscriptions, they can do it with a car, they can do it with all other kinds of stuff. And this is maybe one of the good things that can do by a combination with Tesla and SpaceX. So if you see this report that I wrote was just a less than basic or very low end estimation what the business will be, and it is already growing, and it will overtake or it will go hand in hand with the broadband internet business. You can imagine the people that uses broadband and the people that use phones. Much more people uses phones than broadband, maybe 3 or 4 times more. In some countries, the phone is their broadband. So the market, it will catch up, and they will pump out, like you saw, 3,500 satellites a year. So this constellation will grow and grow and grow. Businesses will come. So this is a very profitable business for SpaceX. And maybe it takes a time for you to see back in the numbers, because I think SpaceX now, I call it the AI business, will be much bigger. That goes in the trillions. And this goes into maybe the 100 billions. And the launch business is in reality, you will maybe see in reality later, that rocket launches will be almost free. Because if they can directly make money with launches for databases in space, the amount of cost for the launch services, and you saw maybe in the document you see that it is, for example, the satellite cost 20 satellites. Now, is it 20 satellites? Let me look. There's in the beginning, I have some numbers there. Yeah, here it is. Let me look. Let me share this. Screen, no, here. Share. And we go here. Here we see it. You see here, Falcon 9. The launch cost is around 60 to 70 million. 24 of them. Satellites deployment is 2.8 million. Cost per satellite. Starship, we see here that the cost of Starship is more expensive because it is much bigger. But even 90 million against 67 million is still very cheap. Now, also the 24 satellites the Falcon 9 can launch, it will be between 60 and 100. It is almost 3 to 4 times, say 3 times more than what Falcon can do, but also the capability of these satellites are much better. These are like 10 times better. So you have already a factor of 30. Now, if the cadence can be increased by 4, now they launch, say, 2 times a month or 2 times a week. Now, if they can even launch more, that is another, and it goes from 30 to maybe to 100 times. So this is also the estimation, 100 times better. The infrastructure will be, the amount of bandwidth will be 100 times better with Starship than with Falcon 9. So it means in 1 year, in 1 year, they will overtake the whole constellation. What they ever built with Falcon 9, they can rebuild with Starship in approximately a year or maybe 2 years, depending on how much they can launch. So this is very interesting. So, and there is an enormous amount of people that want this. For example, you first cover America, the West, Japan, some Asian countries. Then there is this big continent in Africa. So, and then, your TAM is not endless, but it is in the billions of users. Now, billions of users, if you only charge $30, now that is enormous amounts of money every month and every year. And the profitability is around 63%. So this is a good business. This is really, they can make good money. But there's nothing compared with AI, because AI, they also will pay a subscription for AI, and companies will use a subscription for AI. Now think the level further is, for example, you have a company, you need digital workers, AI, so you buy with SpaceX and Grok AI license for example, 100 employees, virtual employees. You pay amount, you get automatically internet, you get automatically cell service, you get automatically whatever, all the service that SpaceX can offer, you will get with this contract. So for businesses and maybe for the employees that still work there, they will get probably a free phone, free internet at home, whatever. But maybe not. If they have a Tesla, they maybe get a Tesla disk to put on their home, and so this will be an enormous way of capturing the market. They will become big on Earth, and then also to finance to become big in space, and this is only the beginning for this company, and there was a big short. Let's talk about a little bit about what happened with the stock market. I can look here. Sorry that I have to look. SpaceX went out today with 6%. Let me share. You guys want to see how I look at charts? This is an hourly chart. Wait a minute. This is a daily chart. Yeah, this is a daily chart. Let's look at the daily chart. Okay, we can do both. Do daily chart because hourly chart is not interesting for investing. Let's look at the window. Let's look at this. Okay, guys, here we go. We go to stock. So you see here, the IPO it spiked up. We will see the beginning of the cup. It is the bottom of the cup, and it will go up like this. This is always a very special thing. It starts at around here, 100 and something, 135. It spikes up, it goes down, and then we get a cup. Sometimes it overtakes, and you get that, and it goes down again. So often you see a bit big with some companies that it makes this cup, and then it spikes up again, and then it goes down, and then it finds the real evaluation. But with Tesla and with other successful or where it is real growth, it will go up. It will be a little bit down because people think that this is the top, and they sell because they had bought here at the beginning. So they take their profit, or they go out and say, okay, this is a dangerous stuff, and then you will see the rally, and then for example, they will sell Starlink, and AI will become good, and they will start building on the moon, and then it will go up. So what is my prognostication? What I think it is, it will build first a nice cup. It will go rally back, I think, faster than it went down. So I think this will go faster up. I think already with earnings call, the next earnings call, they will see convince people from, well, this is as expected. Short sellers will be killed here. I think they will be responsible for the big leaps up, because people think this will not work, and they will be amazed that it works, and then you get these short squeezes. So let's go back. So I think for stock, I'm not advising stock. This is just analyzing and knowing the market. So this is not a buy for SpaceX. If you want to buy it, you buy it. If you don't want to buy it, you don't buy it. But if I always says buy a little bit of everything, then it is always if something spikes up. So I have a friend of a friend who had a big piece of money coming from an inheritance. He bought 7 things. He bought some stock. He invested in in a house. I think also in some metals or whatever, and also Bitcoin. And at the end, after 10 years, 20 years, all his investments were not what expected. Some did nothing. Some he lost everything. But the Bitcoin, he made a millionaire. So at the end, he was a millionaire because of Bitcoin. So sometimes you have to bet on 7 horses, and if one wins, and it goes like 1,000 times more value or 100 times more value, that is how you do it. And betting all your money on one horse can be dangerous. So spread your things. This is not financial advice, but this is just a portfolio. So invest in your life, in your skills, what you're doing, in books, what you're reading, in your happiness, so in vacations. Invest in stocks. Invest. Look at your for money. Your currency where you live can go down or go up. So hedge that with silver and gold. And with stock, American stock market is the most famous one. So it will probably always go up. If that goes down, the world goes down. Maybe hedge it a little bit with Chinese stock. So invest in American dollar and then indirectly in American stock market. Make there some investments. Then if you can buy a house or not. Sometimes if you're too young, it is impossible to get a house. So then save that money and put it in something, dividend stock or something, or an ETF or an index fund. Make money with money. Don't let it be on your bank account. Already in some countries in Japan and in Europe, you pay even interest or you have to pay tax over the money that's on your bank account. So invest it. If you're getting older and you can do remote work, go to a country where you pay less, the government takes less of your money. Dubai is dangerous, but everything is dangerous these days. Maybe in Asia, some country where it is less. Singapore, there's not a name, but in all time Singapore is interesting, or some other country. All those countries now, Spain, and even Japan is a possibility. Those are getting more difficult to enter, to live there and to work there. They are making the rules more difficult. It will cost more money. So in old days, my brother went to New Zealand. He had to pay a lot of money to get a permanent residency. This will happen for all countries, even the Vietnam or Guam or whatever. If you want to go to the country, they will ask for money. They will push out foreigners. They want to keep it more because the problem will be less and less work. And so they don't want to have people taking the jobs away, or this will be one of the problems. Robots everywhere. So the whole world will change. So you have to maybe now think, if you're young and you can move, where do I move? For people that are between 35 and before 40 or 40, make the move now. Also with pensions, UBI will be there. So you probably get from your home country. If you're from Europe, you get UBI from Europe or your pension from Europe, and you can cash that out in a country. So also look at the money-wise thing. People that go sometimes to live in the Netherlands, they can just live in a small apartment. If they would move years before to Thailand and work remote or something, or find there a job, they can live in a nice house with a swimming pool. So you have to really think and get informed about it. Don't be trapped by people that want to take your money. So you have to really think about it, and you really want to go for that country. So you invest in it and you change your life. Look if remote working is a possibility or something else. You work like crazy for 10 years, make a lot of money, go to a country and you invest. So you generate the money with the money you made, and then you live there, and you can live an easy life or a simple life. If you have a house, you have a place to live. The food is not so expensive, and you get some money by some activities. You can probably create your own money a little bit to get some food or make some gardening that the food is even cheaper. You can pay your tax there and you can survive. These days you have to think, can I survive with money? Can I survive in another way that I survive now? Can I leave the cities? Can I go do more remote work or whatever? This will be, I think, interesting and important for people now to think about for the next 5 years. That has aligned with Starship, I think. If Starship is going in full production and the AI intelligence is built out in space, this will change the whole world, factories and work. There's also this talk about modular AI, and I think I will make a next talk about that. Elon Musk is thinking to build those satellites that go in space and put them on Earth. Now you just have to build solar panels. Cooling, it will be in closed circuit. energy will be the solar panels, and then with the link up with Starlink, it is the connectivity instead of that it is space. It goes from Earth to Starlink. These things are independent because they're in space. Independent, don't need service, don't do anything. You just push them somewhere in the desert with some solar panels. That's it. And I think will also be a good market. You don't have to have the launching cost. The only thing is you need 7 times more solar panels because the energy in space is 7 times more efficient than on Earth. The cooling will probably be simpler than in space because in space you need this radiation cooling. And the Earth will be a little bit different. You have the closed circuit water cooling or oil cooling system. It will be maybe, I don't know, maybe expensive, more or less expensive. But these pots will earn themselves back in a year. So, and still, if the chip is a year old, you can still get a profit. So I think you will see that he will start to buy pieces of ground with a lot of sun, place those modules there. They will automatically link up with maybe a cell service so they will be connected with Starlink, and this will be also a business. So he can build on Earth the modular satellites that not in space but they're on Earth. They can place them over in the cities or in the deserts or maybe in the water. You don't know. So more water than there is land. He can place them everywhere he wants, and it is mobile compute power for AIs. And this will be also a very big business with space. And this is also what people also didn't understand, and they looked at S1 and said, why is 90% of the money from SpaceX AI? It will become clearer and clearer, and this will be the biggest addressable market, and in reality, endless TAM, because it goes in space. If you use Earthbound, it will be still limited, but if you can build out a Cartier scale AI around the sun, this is for humanity for the first 100 or 1,000 years, unlimited TAM. And intelligence will always be needed. That's maybe not realized yet, but that also will be realized soon. This is the TED Talk. I talked a little about half an hour. I'm here at another place. This is my countryside house. Not my house, but where I live. So this is my second place. My first place, because the place near Tokyo is the place where my wife works. This is the original house we built. This is self-built, Japanese, not self-built, but a built house in Japan with a big garden, and here I make also food, etc., etc. So that's it for today, and I hope the number shows that this mobile work, but just the 2 sentences in the SE is $100 billion business easily. So expect that the people will find this out. Expect the stock will go up, go back to the 130 or maybe back to $200. Then people will maybe the merger will be announced. I think that will be before the end of Trump. So that will be now in 2 years. Of course, this merger takes some time to realize. That is 6 months or a year. So it will be within a year. If not, then still they can work together. But it will be more difficult and more waste, more not so efficient. So I expect a merger between now and half a year. This will again give a lot of tumult, but at the end, then Elon Musk has total control of the business, and I think then you will see an enormous speed up into profit. The problem will be the politics will change, and now the politics are pro Elon Musk. You can expect that the next administration is not pro. So then it is how important is his infrastructures and his stuff for the government. Because if the military relies on it and most stuff relies on it, they will ignore him. But if he is a target, then he has a problem. How it will solve it, I don't know. I hope Shockwell and that he will go more to the back and he starts a little bit edging out of politics that will be much better. So I'm just around now, half an hour. Good time to end. And tomorrow I make a new new talk. My voice is a little bit strange, but I hope the video is still usable. See you guys.